What a beautiful day, man. So it is November 9th, and it is like in the 70s, mid 70s. Crazy, man, for November. Feels like Florida. So I came out here. I was hoping to get the colors because I noticed the colors were changing a lot. But a few weeks ago, we had that Hurricane Zeta or whatever came through, and the winds were insane. So there was a lot of blowdowns. But also what it did is it blew almost all the leaves off the trees before they could change. So they're pretty bare here now. It's just the lower trees that were shielded or that were still green that still have the leaves on them. But it's still absolutely gorgeous. So today I was going to do a video on the main things I think a person should know before they attempt a through hike of the Appalachian Trail, because I can only say for the Appalachian Trail because I know all the long trails are different, and I only really know about the Appalachian Trail. So rule number one, before anything, research the trail as much as you can. Look it up, find out how it was formed, why it was formed, study all the effort it took to form that trail and to develop that trail. Know the founding fathers of the trail. Understand the history of the trail. Not only that, but learn the trail. Learn about the terrain. Learn about what you're getting into when you go to through hike the trail. Let me tell you, a lot of people come out here still to this day and go through hike the AT and they are just overwhelmed. They had no idea what they were in for, and it's because they didn't do any research. Every person I talked to who just was overwhelmed, or I always hear this definitely was not what I expected. Every one of those people, when I talked to them, none of them did research. They all were like, well, we wanted to come out here not knowing anything, and just so everything was a surprise. And it rarely ever works out well for those people. Now, there's lots of way to research the trail. I think the best way to research it, YouTube videos. Watch as many YouTube videos as you can. And I mean it, watch as many as you can. Don't just cherry pick some, because a lot of them, and I would say 75–80% of the videos out there, they cherry picked their experiences when they decided to film. So you might watch their filming and not really see any of the terrain, or any times they struggled physically or mentally on the trail. So do a lot of, watch a lot of YouTube videos, a variety of different types of people. You know, watch some women's videos, watch some men's videos, watch some newbie videos, watch some expert videos, people who had done a lot of backpacking before they went and did it. Watch a variety of videos so you can get a good sense of what is cherry picked and what isn't. Also, there are lots of great books. That's what I did in 2016. I watched books and I read books and books and books. I'm telling you, I've read almost every through hiking book there is of the Appalachian Trail. I watched YouTube videos. Back then, there weren't near as many as there are now. I mostly watched Following Redbeard and Nemours World and a few others. I just watched them over and over again. And, you know, it gave me a sense of what I was in for. But still, even doing all that is not going to give you the reality of the situation. So, step one, research. YouTube videos, books, encyclopedia. A good book, Appalachian Trials by Zach Davis. Man, great book. It really tells you the trials of hiking the Appalachian Trail. But definitely do the study work, do the research before you even think about planning it out. Okay, so we talked about researching the trail. First thing you got to do. So I want to add one thing to that. So I knew this couple, I met this couple in 2016 in Georgia, early on the through hike, and they're a really nice couple. And we were talking, I think we're at Stover Creek Shelter. It's like one of the first ones. And I was asking them what made them want to come out and through hike the Appalachian Trail. And they told me that they had just heard about it and thought it would be an amazing thing. So I asked them if they had done it watching YouTube videos or read books or anything, and they said no. We absolutely did zero research. We wanted everything to be a surprise to us. So when we got to top of Georgia, we were at top of Georgia. That's at Dix Creek Gap, the very last road to get off before you get into North Carolina. They were done. They both were like, this was not what we expected. They both said this. This was not what we expected. This is really, really hard. And that's the thing. They did absolutely no research, but they had expectations. They built up, romanticized this idea in their mind of what the AT was going to be like, what the through hike was going to be like. When they got on there, they were disappointed, and they realized that it was just hard and grueling, and they were sore every day. And that's the thing about a through hike. You're going to go through your very first 4 weeks are going to be brutal. Unless you're in excellent shape, it's going to be the transition zone. You're going to be achy. You're going to be, your legs are going to hurt every day until you get those trail legs, until your body gets used to that, to getting up, sleeping in a tent, sleeping on the ground, getting up, hiking all day, working to get water, working to get food. It's constant work out there, so it's going to take a while for your body to adjust to that. And they just had expectations that it was going to be this exciting, fun thing. And it is, but it hurts. Okay, so you've done the research of the Appalachian Trail. You have an idea of what it's going to entail. So now, if you still are like, this is what I want to do, what I would do, number two, if you have the gear, even if you don't have the gear that you're going to use, if you have gear, if you've backpacked before, try your hardest to get out on the Appalachian Trail. And I suggest, especially if you're doing northbound, go ahead and hit Georgia. Go ahead and do Georgia, do a good section of Georgia, do the whole thing of Georgia. When I did my last shakedown hike for my 2016 Appalachian Trail through hike, I did from Springer Mountain to Dix Creek Gap, which is basically all of Georgia except for 9 miles, to get an idea of what it was going to be like. Now that's going to be your first start of the trail. So if you can do Georgia, if you can even do like a 3 or 4 day section of Georgia, or do the whole thing, and you still want to through hike the Appalachian Trail, you're good to go, in my opinion. So no matter what, if it's not the gear you're going to use, take that gear out there, get out on the trail and do some, and preferably do it in bad weather if you can, because it's really going to give you an idea of just how horrible it is to try to set up and take down camp during the rain. Yeah, so I think that it would be a good thing to at least make sure there's going to be a couple rainy days during your through hike. Try to mix it up if you can. But yeah, get out there and do it. Go out there and do at least 3-4 days, I suggest. And if you still want to do it after that, I think you're good to go. Now, if you don't have gear and you haven't backpacked yet, wait for rule number 3 and then do rule number 2. But like I said, if you have the gear, hopefully it may not be what you're using. Just go out there, get out in the field and do it. Mix it up. Like I said, have some good weather, some bad weather. If you can do it all through bad weather and you're okay after that, I mean, I think you're really good to go. If you can hike 4 or 5 days in the rain, in the cold rain, and still, when you're done, still be like, I want to do this, man, you're golden. Okay, so you've taken your gear out. You went out for 4 or 5 days, 3, 4, 5 days. You experienced a mixture of weather. Make sure you go out on cold nights now. You got to sleep in the cold. You got to do that. And like I said, try at least a rain day, at least one. So now that you've done all that, you've taken your gear out, you're back home. Now you have to decide, does this gear work for me? Did I like it? Do I need to upgrade it? What did I not use? If you took something, which most people will, take stuff with them, I would say 98% of the people, take stuff with them and end up sending it home. When they get to mountain crossings, they send so much stuff home. So after you've done your shakedown hike, stuff that you were like, I never used this, I didn't need it, except for winter clothing and rain gear, of course, get rid of it. You're not going to need it. If you didn't need it that 4 or 5 days, you're not going to need it on a through hike. Now you got to figure out, did I like my gear? Was it good enough? Do I need to lighten up? The 2 rules for gear you want to consider is you want to get an equal balance of lightness and comfort. Lightness and comfort. Trust me, the first thing every through hiker says sometime in Georgia, I need to get rid of some of this weight. It's the first thing. Everyone hates it. They find out really quick. Carrying all that weight is not cool and it's not going to work. The 3 things you can do to reduce your weight, the biggest 3 things you can do is your pack, your shelter. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. The 3 things to reduce weight: your pack, your shelter, and your sleeping bag. I use all Z packs. My tent weighs a little over a pound. My pack weighs about 1.5 pounds with all the side pockets and everything. My sleeping bag weighs a little bit over a pound. So basically I'm working with a little under 4 pounds, my big 3. If you want to lose weight, that's what you're going to have to do. Now, a lot of people buy those ultralight packs and don't like them because they don't like the way they ride. So you're going to have to like adjust the comfort and weight until you get to that sweet spot where you're like, I'm still pretty comfortable, but I'm about as light as I possibly can go. That's what you want. That's your goal. Lightness, comfort. So here's the thing. If you haven't bought your gear, you're going to have to research the gear, and you're going to have to, like I said, watch YouTube videos, watch gear videos, and find out what is light and what is comfy. Now, the lighter you go, the more expensive it's going to get. These are all things you have to weigh in, but you definitely want to have your weight, your gear all dialed in pretty well when you start your through hike. When I started my through hike in 2016, I didn't send one thing home. Didn't need to, because I had all the gear I knew I would need, and I needed it. And when summer came, I got rid of a bunch of my winter gear. The thing is, though, like I said, I started eating so much food that my pack didn't get much lighter. My base weight for summer is just under 10 pounds. My base weight for winter is just a little over 12 pounds. So I only gain about a little over 2 pounds from summer to winter. That is the next step you're going to have to do. Dial in your gear. Make sure that's what you want when you start your through hike. Okay, so you've done research. You know as much as you possibly can know about the trail. You've got your gear dialed in. You've been out on the trail. You've hiked through rain, cold temps. You know what you need. You know what you don't need. You got that all ready. So now the only thing you need to do, and this is the most important thing of all, any expectations you have, drop them right now. Get rid of them. Expectations are just going to ruin your through hike. Go out there, plan on it just being an adventure and an unforeseen adventure. The best way to do it, I wouldn't even make plans like itineraries. I watched so many people. My friend Bowler sat up all night and made an itinerary for the next 500 miles. He made it about 80 miles and had to change it. Plans never pan out on the AT. They just don't. Expectations never pan out. Get rid of all that. Go out there, just look at it as an adventure. Don't worry how long it's taken you. Try to stay in the moment as much as you can. Embrace the beauty, embrace the freedom. More than anything, remember, you're out there, you're as free as you possibly can be in this world right now. Doing a through hike is so, it's the ultimate freedom. So just remember, if you can do all those things, you will most likely be successful on a through hike, unless you get an injury, which injuries are something no one can help. It just happens. And unfortunately, the older we are, the more prone we are to getting injuries. Trust me, my knees were a burden on me on both through hikes, but I just did it. The days I couldn't do a lot of miles, I did little miles. When I had to take a few days off, I took a few days off. I just sucked it up and did it and put up with it. So I'm telling you, if you do the research and you know what you're getting into a little bit, you go out in the field and you practice it, get your gear dialed down, the minimal amount. Remember, lightness and comfort. You want that perfect balance. Another thing is you'll do that on your shakedown is food. You'll know what kind of food, but your food's going to change so much throughout the hike that I really say don't pre-plan meals and don't send yourself stuff. But if you're going to do that, you can do it. People have done it. But the main thing is just be mentally and physically prepared. Know what you're getting into. Drop those expectations. Know your gear. Love your gear. Know your body. Make sure, in the meantime, go out as many through hikes as you can, day hikes as you can. Get the practice. Put on a full pack and hike. Anytime you can, any chance you can. Anytime you can go out, even for an overnight, do it. Don't care about the weather. Train, train, train. 2016, I was in the best shape of my life. I mean, I went out there and I just crushed it. But I got cocky, and in Virginia, my knees, because I was going too fast with too much weight on the downs. And I tore my meniscus. So if you can do all those things, I think you have a really, really, really good chance of through hiking the trail out there. So I hope that helped anyone who is thinking about doing a through hike coming up. It's mostly, just like I said, it's mental and physical preparedness. And if you can do all those things, the rest you'll learn on trail and it will come to you. And trust me, you are going to have a much more enjoyable trip than people who don't take that preparedness. And I'm just going to say one more thing and put this out there. I know there's a lot of fear right now and a lot of uncertainty and stress about what's going on in our country right now. And I don't want to get into it because the truth is, it doesn't surprise me. And I knew this, and I've said this in my other videos. The media, the big corporations, the elites, they think this world is theirs, and it's not. I don't bow down to no one. I don't raise my fist to no one. There's only one true power that I follow, and that is God. No one else represents me but God. So if I truly have faith in God, I can't be fearful of what's to come. And that's just the truth of it. So remember, no matter what, in the end, I don't know when the end will be, but in the end, the truth will always be revealed. The light will always shine on the darkness, and righteousness will always prevail. So until next time, I will talk to y'all then. All right.